What's good, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to another episode of Pro and Bro Wrestling Podcast. We are your host. I'm Arnold Telegaarda.
And I'm Mr. No Days Off, Fred Rosser, episode 46. We are live, baby, via Zoom. And we have a very, very special guest, He's fly, he's flashy, he's fabulous. And he was definitely a guest that I wanted to have on to share his story. I always say, don't die with the story and you tell it. We have none other than Cassius is in the house. Thank you for joining us on Pro and Bro Wrestling.
Yeah, thank you for having me, both of you.
You're all the way from London, man. How is it over there with the whole quarantine lockdown and everything?
It's crazy. Like, everyone's walking out with gas masks and stuff, and it's weird. I've never spent so much time indoors.
Isn't that crazy that when you see people with masks, it's starting to become the norm? When this whole thing first started, when 2 or 3 people wear masks, you're like, oh, that's different. But now if you don't have a mask, you're the weird one.
Yeah, that's what I felt everyone was staring at me first, but now that I've got one on, I'm like, okay. I don't want to catch this thing from just going to the supermarket or something.
I know.
Yeah. But other than that, I feel like I'm at a yoga retreat because I feel like all I do now is either jog and do yoga.
Yeah. Good for you, man. So I don't know if you heard this. This is pretty crazy. Before this whole pandemic thing broke out, I know someone that actually went on like a month or like a 2-month retreat where they have no connection with the world. So they're not checking their cell phones and anything. And once the retreat was done, he checks his cell phone and it's a whole complete different world. You know, how crazy is that feeling?
It feels real now.
Yeah. But you're staying healthy, man? Everything's good with you?
Yeah, other than like missing wrestling and like doing fun stuff, it's okay.
Well,
you guys.
Everything's good with us, man. We're just trying to be safe. I've actually, on top of the mask, I actually wear gloves when I go outside, just to be extra careful. You just can't be too careful with what's going on with the world. But enough about me, man. Let's talk about you, bro. I was looking into your Instagram and I was watching all your stuff, and I personally, let's just start it off with this. I think it's really cool that the way that you got introduced to wrestling was through Buffy the Vampire. Can you explain that to us? How did that whole thing went down?
Okay, so when it first came on TV, I watched it when it was current. So I was only like 3 years old, and I watched it with my sister. And I didn't understand it at all. All I just saw was this blonde girl fighting vampires and doing flips and kicks and stuff. And I thought that was so cool. Obviously, once I got older, I watched it back again. And then I realized there's a storyline and like all the characters have relationships and stuff. And then I appreciated it even more. And I feel like every time I watch an episode, it actually relates to my life. Even though I'm not a vampire slayer, but I feel like it's a bit like wrestling.
Okay. So, I mean, I have never seen Buffy the Vampire, so there's a lot. I'm sorry. I know. So it's kind of like wrestling. They have fighting like sequences and things like that. Is that what goes down?
Well, so Buffy's really good at fighting and whatever, like she always does a backflip, a roundhouse kick.
Wow.
She uses weapons too, like a stake and a crossbow.
Okay.
But the when Buffy finished, the next best thing was WWE for me.
Okay.
And I think the link to Buffy was that there was all the divas with blonde hair.
Yeah.
And because Buffy wasn't a bookworm or anything. She was supposed to be like the blonde stereotype, and then I think I liked that, and then I liked the blonde women in WWE, and then I used to play the games with my friends after school.
Oh, me too.
And then when everyone grew out of it, I didn't grow out of it.
I'm with you, man.
So yeah, that was that. But like for ages, I kind of kept that I was a diva fan. I kind of kept that secret because like everyone would laugh at me when they would say, "Oh yeah, who's your favorite wrestler?" And it would be like Trish Stratus or Mickey James.
Right.
Now it's like it's no one bats an eyelid, but back then they would be like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah.
But yeah, that was what got me into it. And then when Mickey James was this obsessed fan character,
Yep.
I felt like I could relate to that because although I wasn't going to stalk anyone or kill someone, like I was an obsessed fan, so that was the closest thing that I could relate to. And yeah, then one day I was like, okay, I'll try it.
Oh wow, that's
Arnold, I gotta say that I've known Cassius for some time, but I've connected with him recently. And what attracted me to Cassius is that he's got so much confidence. You know, he's not afraid to back down from a fight. You know, I was laughing at a story about Cassius and I were talking about him being in the supermarket and some lady gave him a stink look because he had a face mask in his carriage. So Cassius just cracked me up. So I said to myself, we had to have him on the show.
Oh man.
Yay! Oh God.
Cassius, when that lady gave you that stink look, what did you do? You just kind of gave her a look back?
Yeah, no, because I was really kind to her because I'm always kind to people in shops and stuff, like, because, you know, you want them to help you as well.
Yeah.
And I was so kind. And then she just was like, is that for you? I was like, yeah, it is. So that was that. And then I was like, fine, bye. But I was still, I didn't want to be rude, but I was thinking she's lucky she caught me on a good day.
Yeah. Fred,
But
oh, sorry, continue, man.
oh, it's funny that Fred, that you said about confidence, because for so long I was so shy about like pursuing wrestling, because I would always get bullied at school for being like really, everyone would go, oh yeah, you're gay, aren't you? You're gay, blah, 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 every single day. And they would always talk about my voice. And so when it came to like public speaking or anything, I was always so nervous of what people would say. And then when I told my friends that I wanted to be a wrestler, they laughed so hard. It was like belly laughs, like hysterical laughs.
Oh no.
And so when I first started wrestling, I kept it a secret, and I didn't tell anyone that I was training.
When you started?
How old? I was 17 when I started.
Wow.
But I was only doing it for like 3 months, and then I stopped for like 2 years.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I went to a place that we will not name this place. It was like notoriously bad. And every time I meet someone on the indies and I'm like, where did you start? Everyone seems to have started at this place. And then they leave because they realize how bad it is.
Wow.
But yeah, at first, like, the promoter would like say that everyone was gay. They were like, oh yeah, you're dating him, blah blah blah. And considering like I was in the closet at the time, I was like, oh my God, I actually am gay. Like, what the hell?
Yeah.
But yeah, I didn't stay there for very long, and then I thought that all wrestling was going to be like that, so I stopped for like 2 years, and then just went to college and university. But I didn't tell any of my friends that I was training in case I failed, and then they would laugh at me even more and be like, you didn't get very far. So no one even knew that I had trained and stopped.
Wow. Not even your family?
My mum and my sister knew, and that was it.
Oh wow. And then,
Yeah.
Well, Cassius, how supportive were your family? I always ask the guests that we have on, were they supportive?
Yeah, my mum was. Well, she just didn't want me to get hurt, but she loves wrestling.
oh, cool.
So, yeah. She used to watch it with me. She loves it, and she's like read everyone's like autobiography, so she knows what the whole thing's about. And she was supportive. I talk to my dad every now and then, but we're not that close. So I didn't tell him, and I didn't tell anyone else. But they were supportive. My mum's supported me since day one, like even when everyone else didn't.
Wow, that's really cool to have someone like that in your corner, especially for it to being your mom. That's awesome.
Yeah,
and
yeah, like.
Oh, go ahead.
Sorry. Yeah.
She's. And then 2 years in college. What did you major in then?
So I went to college, and then I went to university, and I studied television production, so making TV. And as soon as I started university, I looked around at everyone, and I was like, "Oh, these are not my people." I mean, I finished university and I got my degree and everything, but there was something about on the course we had to learn about being behind the camera and filming everyone else, and we had to wear stage black so we didn't stand out, so we blended in with the background and everything. And I was like, I don't want to wear black. I don't want to be hiding behind the camera while someone else gets the spotlight. I want to be in front of that.
Yes.
So again, I was like, okay, I need to go back to wrestling. And like every day in those 2 years, I would wake up and I would think, okay, when are you going to go back to wrestling? I thought, I don't want to be like 80 years old and then thinking, oh, what if I tried to be a wrestler? So yeah, I went back, and this time it like changed my life.
Okay.
Have any of you seen Camp Rock?
Yes. Oh, I mean, like snippets of it. I didn't watch the full movie. But...
Okay. So it was kind of like Camp Rock. When I first walked in, it was Beginner's Monday.
Okay.
And I walked in, and to the right, I saw someone just do a Hurricane Rana and someone fly over. And I was like, oh my God, Beginner's Monday? Maybe I should just walk back out. And it was crazy. I just felt like, wow, this is an actual wrestling school with everyone here that watches wrestling, and like, this is where I should be. And so the London School of Lucha Libre it's a little bit different. So when we do the warm-up, they turn the lights off and put like these disco lights on. And so you're working out and shouting and dancing, we're still doing like drills and stuff in the dark. And there was so many people there, and it was a really good vibe, and it was completely different to the place that I was at before. And yeah, that place changed my life, because if it wasn't for wrestling in that place, I would probably still be in the closet right now. It would be a glass closet, but it would still be a closet. It would be glass, but yeah.
So how did you adapt to the Lucha Libre wrestling style right off the bat like that?
Well, so they teach Lucha, but they also teach like every other style, whatever. So, but for me, because I don't weigh that much, I'm quite light, everyone could base me for stuff, so it was okay. So another thing that got me nervous about joining a wrestling school was, at school I was rubbish at sports. If we did PE and we no, it's so embarrassing. Like if we were playing football, volleyball, basketball, anything ball, I would be the last one picked for the team. And if I wasn't picked last, I'd be picked like second last, but that would be okay because it wasn't last. But I was okay at running and like the gymnastic stuff I was okay at. So when I joined a wrestling school, I was actually a bit surprised that I could roll and actually do stuff. And I thought, oh my God, I can't believe that I let people try and deter me from doing something that I really liked. But at this point, I still didn't tell anyone, like, I was at wrestling school. And, but that place instilled, like, a confidence in me. And I think working out in the dark at first and making weird sounds and stuff, it takes everyone out of their comfort zone. And then when the lights come back on and it's time to wrestle and learn and make mistakes and stuff, it's all okay. And then from that, when I went to have my first match, I didn't have a character or anything. And my trainer, he went up to me and he was like, just be you, like be fabulous, be you, and wear pink and sparkles. And I was like, okay, pink and sparkles, right. So I didn't tell my friends I was a wrestler because I was scared of what they were going to say. And now I've got to wear pink and sparkles. And how am I going to tell them now? How am I going to tell my dad that I'm going to be doing this?
Right.
So I got these pink hot pants, which were tiny. And it was a real big deal to actually think I'm going to be wearing these in front of people. But these pink hot pants literally changed my life. Like, I owe it all to some pink hot pants. And when I put them on and then had that first match, I was like, okay, this is exactly what I need to be doing with life. That was like one of the best days of my life.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh no, I'm sitting here salivating because I can just picture myself just having a match, having a program with Cassius and being able to highlight him. You know what I mean? We wouldn't be doing too much in the ring. We would be telling the story, you know what I mean? Because he's the underdog and I'm the big, tough, masculine pride fighter, you know? So being able to get in the ring with Cassius, I know we would be able to tell a beautiful story in the ring. Like, Cassius, can I ask you how important that now that you're out and about and that you're yourself and you're living your truth, how important is representation in professional wrestling in all sports important to you?
Oh, it's so important. Because, like, back in the day, like before you came out, there was no one on, especially in WWE, there wasn't many people out at all on TV. So when I was younger, I felt like I related to the women, but I didn't, there was no men to really relate to because no one was out. And for a while, that made me think that, oh, if I wanted to, like, become a wrestler or have a successful career, I felt like I would have to stay in the closet for, like, my entire life at that point. So now that there's, like, representation out there and it's like there's more and more coming, it's really good to see, and it is important to show that to the younger generation as well. And I think because there was no one, like, so long ago to when I was a kid, there was no one on TV.
Right.
Look at it. It's made me be like, okay, well, I need to represent as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm curious, when you were a kid watching wrestling, you mentioned that, you know, there was zero representation of the LGBTQ community. What did you think of the character Goldust, who kind of had that element, but at the same time, they didn't label him as a gay character. He was labeled as androgynous. So what did you think of someone like a character like Goldust at the time?
I mean, he was seen as, like, I mean, he's cool and everything. He was really cool. But I didn't feel like I could relate to him in that way because he was seen as like a weird character, right?
Right.
Like, or, like it wasn't seen as like a normal thing.
Yeah.
Or I mean, like Rico was cool.
Yeah, that's
but
right.
he was cool, but he wasn't actually gay, was he?
I don't know.
No, yeah. So like it was like, I felt like there's a certain level of like authenticity, like someone actually being gay.
Yeah.
That's portraying that was missing at the time.
Yeah.
But I mean, they all did great stuff though.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't like how before they labeled like anyone as a character that's gay as a joke. You know what I mean? Or like as
yeah.
Instead of them just being a realistic human being and a character, it just so happens that they're also gay. That's just part of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm so glad that we've evolved from that, having yourself, Fred, Sonny. I think that's really cool.
Yeah. So like in the UK, there's only like a handful, or like I could count them all on my hand. But because we're all in like different parts, we only ever cross paths or like go into the same shows every now and then.
Yeah.
And when we do, it's like, oh wow, oh my god, I heard about you. It's so nice to meet you. But like because of like Instagram and stuff,
yeah,
I realized that there's loads of gay wrestlers out there. Well, there's more now at least, and only until I saw it in person, where last year for WrestleMania week, I got to go to New York and wrestle on an all LGBT show.
Oh no way!
And yeah, that was fun. And like talking to everyone backstage, it was like we can all relate to each other, because first of all, training to be a wrestler is hard in itself. Mm-hmm. But then when you're closeted gay, that's even harder, because like it adds another layer to it, because you're kind of insecure about certain things. You don't want to be called out for being gay. Then it kind of affects what you do in the ring, because you don't want to be seen in a certain way. But meeting everyone there and talking to them, it was really eye-opening. And it was like, oh, I'm not alone or anything. So it was great.
Yeah.
That was cool.
Yeah.
And Cassius, you said that you experienced WrestleMania. Which WrestleMania was it? And like, how was your experience watching the show? And do you see yourself like, because I know recently, late last year, I attended a New Japan Pro Wrestling show in LA, and I envisioned myself saying, man, could I hang with these guys? Like, and I said to myself, yeah, I can really hang with these guys. And did you see yourself envisioning yourself hanging with these guys in WWE?
Yeah. So I went to the WrestleMania one where the women were the main event.
Oh, cool.
Last year. And well, as a Diva fan, that was a perfect WrestleMania for me to go to, with the women in the main event. But being in the arena, in the stadium, and seeing everyone walk down the ring and wrestle, when I was watching the matches, I thought, oh, I can do this. They're not doing anything that like I can't do. And it was nice to see that. So I was like, okay, this is really cool, and this is attainable. It doesn't seem so far away when I was sitting there in person. But it was really eye-opening to see how huge the event was.
Yeah.
Because you hear about it like, oh, we had so and so thousand people in there, and it's one thing to hear it, but to be in the arena, like, that was crazy. And to see, even like on all the Access events and all that, with everyone's face like this big on the posters, on the wall, that was great. And so some of the WWE UK guys were there, and I know them from before they even got signed to that. So it was great to see loads of friends from England in that same area as well and at the Access things, then that's when it hit home that it's not impossible.
Right. Have you worked at any capacity with WWE in your career?
No,
No?
not at all.
Is that a goal for you?
Yes, hell yeah. That's a goal. Why not? Like,
exactly, why not?
why not? No, because some wrestlers, I know they're like, oh, you know, I would never, blah, blah, blah. But I know they would.
Yeah, deep down.
I know they would. That's what got them into it, and I know they would. Yeah.
So what companies have you worked for? Have you wrestled for?
So I started off with the indies on the UK scene. So Lucha Britannia, that was my home place.
Okay.
With the London Lucha League, and then I moved on to a WrestleForce 1, and then from that I moved up to Clash and Riptide. And Riptide is a really fun place in Brighton. So if you don't know about Brighton is like the gay city of England.
Oh. Okay.
So I fit in well there. As soon as I turned up and they realized that I was wearing the rainbow leg tassels,
yeah,
they did for me instantly. But the thing I like about that place as well is that they always cheer. They always cheer so loud for anything. And and that's every time I know I'm wrestling in Brighton, I know I'm gonna have a fun time. I have a fun time anywhere I wrestle, but that is special. And they even after the show, they always are super nice.
Aww.
And they always have like drawings they've done there. That's the place where they all bring their stuff.
That's so cool, man.
Cassius, you're literally the heart and soul of Pride in Brighton. What inspired you to do the rainbow tassels, you know, Ultimate Warrior style? What inspired you to do that?
Well, first of all, I knew when I got my outfit, I saw Summer Rae with tassels when she was with Fandango.
Yeah.
She had red, and I was like, well, I don't want red, I'll get pink. So I got pink. And I think that summer, tassels came back into fashion anyway. And then, so I had pink for a while. And then once I knew that I was going to come out soon, I thought, I need to get some rainbow ones just to wear at least for when it's like the Pride month, at least when I wrestle.
Sure.
Then and then after that I was like, oh my god, yeah, Ultimate Warrior had like the same thing as well.
He did.
Yeah, he did. But yeah, I just love wearing tassels, you know.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, and anything flowing, so when I kick someone in the face and they get a photo of that, it looks quite cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was Summer Rae that had the tassels that I saw, and then I got to meet her as well, and I told her and I showed her, and she was like, "Oh my god, it looks good." So, and then I got to meet her last year and show her. She's like, "Oh my god, you're the one on Instagram, aren't you?"
Have you met Trish? She was your favorite growing up.
Huh?
Have you met Trish?
Yeah, I met Trish last year as well, and she always replies to my stuff on Instagram and Twitter, because I sent her a video, because I did, as I was inspired by the Divas, I like to whip out the Divas moves, and you know when she does the handstand on the ropes, the stratosphere, and she flips them over, I sent her a video of me doing that. And then she retweeted it. So she's always super kind online.
That's awesome, man. You know what? What I popped for is when I was looking through your Instagram and I saw that some of your professional shots, you were doing the same pose with chips and everything. Like Trish. I forgot what other diva you copied, but it was literally
I got Kelly.
Kelly. Yeah, I thought that was really cool, man. I just love seeing genuine, like wrestlers who are genuine fans like that, you know?
Yeah. But I mean, I've always made it a point to still be a fan of wrestling while I'm doing it, because I feel like if you're not having fun, what's the point? And as long as I'm a fan of it still, then I can still have fun.
Yeah.
And so when I used to say I was a fan of Kelly Kelly, like everyone would roll their eyes, and they'd be like, oh, watch some, like technical wrestling, whatever, and that's great, cool. But I was like, I liked Kelly Kelly because she was an underdog too.
Yeah.
And whenever she wrestled, you'd think, oh God, she's gonna get hit really hard or something.
Right.
But she still won by like roll-ups and stuff.
Sure.
So yeah, and so I do a tilt well head scissors like Kelly Kelly, but everyone used to think they would be like, oh, did you watch like Rey Mysterio or something to get that move? And I would be like, oh no, Kelly Kelly. And then they would go, oh, okay. But yeah.
I mean, Kelly though, she's the first women 24/7 champion, right?
Exactly.
Cassius and Arnold, during my Nexus days, Justin Gabriel was dating Kelly Kelly, and I always thought she was the most beautiful girl in the world. And at the time, I think Gabriel might have cheated on her. I don't know what happened, but they broke up, and I was so angry at Gabriel. I'm like, man, how can you do that to this beautiful woman, But who knows what happened, but I was very angry when they broke up.
I'm sure.
Oh God. See, I'm glad I didn't know that detail, because I would have been angry too.
Yeah, I was so angry.
Man, I mean, like, she seems like a really nice person. I saw some of her interviews with Chris Van Vliet, and she just seemed really down to earth. And she's still young, man. Like, she was in her early 20s during her first run, and I think she's probably in her early 30s now. And most wrestlers are starting out at her age right now,
Yeah, I think she retired. Like, so I'm 26, and I think she retired at like 26.
Yeah,
or, yeah. I'm like, damn, girl.
Done it all. I'm good.
But
Cassius.
Yeah, go on.
Oh, I'm sorry. Keep going.
Oh, okay. I was just about to say, so Mickie James was my favorite, and she did the DDT, the tornado one, and I wanted to do that, but I didn't just want to like outright steal her DDT. So before doing the DDT, I twerk, and yeah, I got the idea to do that because Miley Cyrus and Hannah Montana are like my inspirations outside of wrestling.
Best of both worlds.
Yeah! Oh my God, yeah. So when she twerked at the VMAs on Robin Thicke and the world went crazy, I was like, okay, I think I could twerk before the DDT and call it the DD twerk.
Oh.
And yeah, so whenever I wrestle, someone comes up to me after a show, even if it's a wrestling fan or one of the ones that don't watch wrestling but they've been dragged to the show, and they'll come up to me, and it's always that move. They'll go, oh, that bit where you shook your butt and then did that thing, that was cool. So yeah, but best of both worlds, like, she's like a schoolgirl by day but a pop star by night, and no one knows it's the same girl. That was me doing wrestling for a good 2 years before I told anyone.
I can see that.
Cassius, let me just tell you, if in the future we wrestle, I will do everything in my power to avoid that move. I will get my foot on the ropes. I will somehow weave out of it, give you the gut check. I will not get hit with that move.
No, I think it's otherwise. Yeah, I'll have to hit you with that. Sorry.
Hey, listen, sweetheart, you're talking to experience here, okay? I'm a veteran, okay? Arnold, me and Cassius were exchanging some words on social media, You never know who's going to see it. You never know what promoter's going to see it. So him and I were exchanging some words. But Cassius, I got to ask you, I asked Kalisto last week, the biggest rib that he's had done to him in wrestling, the biggest, trick or whatever. What's the biggest rib someone's ever done to you in your career?
Oh, oh God. Okay. Right. So on this show, Lucha Britannia, right? It's a very small locker room, and everyone, it's like sardines. Everyone gets changed next to each other, right? So I was peeking through the curtain watching the match, but like I'd taken my gear off and I was just there in my pants. And one of the guys, my friend Malik, he snuck up behind me and he had everyone watching and he gave me a wedgie.
Oh, no.
But that's not even the worst part. So he pulled the wedgie so high in one quick motion that my pants ripped in half and his hands came all the way up and they ripped off in his hands. And we were all standing there like, what the hell? That's probably the worst one. No one really does anything bad. No, yeah.
That one, man.
Huh?
You owe him a receipt for that one.
I know, and I'm trying to think. Well, he did that to me because one time we had a match and we were brawling in the crowd, and there was this woman with a box of nachos, and it had chili sauce on it. Ooh. And she kind of just like had it out like that. And I looked at her and I'd given her eye contact and I thought, well, I can't just ignore her. She's got the nachos there. So I just took it. And at school, when I threw a ball, I always missed. Throwing a tennis ball. But this box of nachos, I threw it at him and it got him right in the face. And it had chili sauce on those nachos. And so I didn't realize he couldn't see after.
Oh.
Yeah. And then he goes, I can't see, get some water. So then someone else had a bottle of water and I took it and I just poured it over him like I was like, but really I did that to get out his eyes. And then I put him in a submission, which was like an octopus stretch, but I'm standing on his back.
Yeah.
And then after that, he came to the back and he was like, I'm so angry with you, but because it's you, it's okay, but I can't see. So that's why he gave me the wedgie months after.
He gave you a pass. That's nice.
Yeah, that's okay. Anyone else, he probably would have killed them, but it's fine.
I feel like you're just a friend. Like everyone likes you guys, and because it's you guys, they let it slide.
Do you know what? There's some people, right, in the backstage that they're grumpy and everyone hates working with them or whatever. But whenever they work with me, they're always actually all right. They're always nice. Like, so I don't know what it is.
It's your energy, and I can definitely feel that right now, and you're genuine. And I think one of the reasons why they feel that way is because they show it shows how much fun you're having, and that definitely bounces off of them. So
yeah,
energy, and I think honestly, you remind some of your peers why they were fans in the first place.
Oh God, I hope so. I mean, like everyone, there's a thing that some people hide that they're fans, which I don't get.
Yeah.
I mean, surely you came into this for a reason. I mean, not just to make money. Surely you had fun, right? So
yeah, absolutely. I forgot who it was, but someone was cutting a promo in the ring, and they were just talking about what was wrong with the wrestling business. And as a jab, he said, "Oh, we got the boys in the back who should be fans. Like, oh, if we got some fans, or something along the lines, basically calling the boys in the back still fans, like it was a bad thing." And I never got like that. Isn't that what like wrestlers should be? Lifelong fans who had their dreams come true,
Yeah. Because then I felt like if I wasn't a fan of it, I mean, I get how people didn't watch it and got into it. That's totally cool. But I felt like if I wasn't a fan of it and I was doing it, and because it hurts,
yeah,
like I don't know how I could do it if I didn't enjoy it, or if I wasn't a fan of the whole thing.
Yeah. So with your wrestling career, growing up as a fan, did you have a dream match of anyone that you want to wrestle?
I just know I want to be in a mixed tag with Mickey James. Like, yeah.
You won't, just with Mickey James though.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and Kelly. Or do you know what? No. I want to be in like a lumberjack match, but with all the classic divas around the ring.
Amazing.
Yeah.
How about dream opponent standing across the ring 1-on-1?
I really don't know now. Well, okay, actually, wait. There was some. I did like Dolph Ziggler and John Morrison.
Yeah.
I made signs of them for when I used to go, but it is mostly the women wrestlers. But I know I can't do intergender now, right?
Yeah, that's true.
It would have to be. I think it would have to be Dolph.
Okay, that's cool.
Or no, yeah, Dolph.
Yeah, Dolph's great.
Yeah, he's great.
Dolph's great. Dolph's great, and Dolph's an ally too. You know, he's very supportive. So, and he's very giving too. I've probably had one of my best singles matches with him was in Cairo, Egypt, and we went like 15 minutes, man. And unfortunately, he wasn't on TV, but he was very giving to me. So, Dolph's a good guy. He's a good guy to wrestle one-on-one.
See, I liked that whenever someone gave him a monkey flip, he flew all the way around, landing on his front. Like every time someone hit him, he would go flying, and it looked different. That's what I liked.
He's all about making guys look good. And, you know, he's one of the best at doing it.
Yes.
I remember watching wrestling when I was a kid. When I was like playing wrestler. I just thought it looked so fun to take those bumps whenever I would see Kurt Hennig take a clothesline and he would spin. And then I would see Billy Gunn when he took the clothesline from hell from Bradshaw, and he would do that flip. Anything like that just looks so fun and cool to me. I don't want to be the guy that makes the other guy flip. I would want to be the guy that
yeah. It's fun. Like when you get to do those things that you were excited to see, it's like, oh, this move's being done to me, but it's okay because I know it looks cool and I want to make it look cool too.
Yeah. Fred, I the opportunity to have one of my dreams come true because I'm a big Shawn Michaels fan, and I would always, sweet chin music my friends. I would sweet chin pillow, like all of that growing up. So Fred was training, and he took me to one of his sessions. And actually, for the first time ever, I got in the ring, and he let me do the super kick on him, and I recorded it. And it was one of the coolest.
He's running the ropes, and you do it, right?
What was that?
He's running the ropes, and then you do it. Yeah, I saw it. Yeah.
It was so fun, man. Like I was on cloud 9 for the longest time.
You did a good one as well.
Oh, thank you, though.
No, yeah, that was a good one.
But Cassius, I gotta ask you. We all know this isn't ballet and stuff like that, and we talked about injuries. Can you elaborate on some of the injuries that you've had in the business?
Oh Jesus. Okay, yeah. So one time, we had a tag match. And we locked up. The bell rang. We locked up. He put me in a wrist lock, and we were doing unplanned stuff like on the fly. So lock up. He put me in a wrist lock, and all of a sudden he went behind me, trapped my arms, and gave me a German suplex.
Okay.
And I tore the ligament completely. That my AC clavicle. I tore that completely off the bone. And it was literally that quick from the bell ringing. I thought, what the hell? What? And I'd never had an injury at this point. So when that happened, I knew straight away something was wrong. For some reason, I was the heel in this tag team match. Oh. So he gave me the German suplex. I rolled out the ring. And I rolled out to just be like, shut up, blah, blah, blah. But really, I rolled out to see if I could lift my arm. Yeah. And it was beside me, and I went to lift it, and it went click, click, and I could only lift it, like, I couldn't even lift it up. And I thought, oh my God, well, what do I do? And I had the adrenaline. Well, I don't even know how I had adrenaline already, but I just thought, I can't go to the back now. The match has just started. So maybe that was me being stubborn or whatever. But I got back in the ring, and he grabbed my arm again and gave me like a Latigo arm ring, I think, from the same arm. And then my tag team partner, he was like, Cassius, are you working or are you actually hurt? And I was like, I think I'm hurt. I don't know. So he was like, tag out. So I tagged out, and for some reason my trainer was by the apron. I don't even know why he was that close, but he was. And I went to him. I was like, Gary, I think I'm hurt. And he looked at my shoulder, and his eyes popped out his head. Like my shoulder just, it dropped from the other side. And he was like, how much of the match have you got to finish? And I was like, the whole thing. So I didn't know what to do. The referee had me, I was laying on the apron while he was standing on my back because he thought it was dislocated. It was really weird. And the guys we were wrestling, they didn't speak English, and I didn't speak Spanish, and the referee only spoke Spanish too. So we were all like, what do we do? So I just tried to carry on with whatever. And I got back in, and I tagged in, and I went to chop the guy, and I pulled my arm back, and I just couldn't even hit him. So I had to use my other arm. And then the finish of this, right, was belly to belly suplex, then gorilla press, and then camel clutch. Ooh. And as soon as he pulled my arm back for the camel clutch, I was already like wanting to tap. So I tapped out, blah, blah, blah. I let him get in, we tapped out. And then even when he got off me, I was still tapping out. No one was on me. And I was still going like, yeah, that was a crazy one. Oh my God. And that was annoying. But the annoying thing was after, when I had to pull out of shows that I really wanted to do, and then you don't know how long it's going to take to get better, or if you'll even come back from it, because there's no certainty with any injury. Right. And at that point, I was so scared because I'd never had an injury, and it's on the indies. It's different. You haven't got the best top of the world doctors looking after you or whatever. It's just whatever you can get. And I saw 3 different doctors, and they all said different things. One said, yeah, you've torn the ligament, you've torn your AC, you'll be fine, give it so and so many months or weeks, whatever. And then the second one, he said, oh yeah, I think you need to go to France to have surgery. And I was like, France? What the hell? Why would I go to France for surgery? I didn't know they were good for surgery in there. Why couldn't I not get it here? And then the third doctor, he said that 9 out of 10 rugby players get this injury, and you'll be fine after so-and-so. And I got the range of motion back, thankfully, blah, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. So I didn't have to have surgery for that. But that was scary as hell.
Wow. I can't.
And yeah, and I had this TV thing that I had to film 2 days after, and it was for this sports comedy show called A League of Their Own. Uh-huh. And it's a fun show. Nothing's ever serious. It's all funny. And I was supposed to be in a pillow fight.
Oh.
And I think that would have been a lot of fun. But so I messaged them, and I was like, okay, I tore my ligament completely. I can't do anything physical, but I would still love to be there if you wanted me there. Yeah. So all I did was walk someone through the ring, but I still got to do it. So, but yeah, that's the stuff that comes after the initial injury. It's hard because you can't wrestle, and then you don't really see your wrestling friends as much. And then every time you see them, the only thing they talk to you about is, oh, how's your injury? Are you okay?
Right.
And then after a while, you're sick of talking about that.
Yeah.
And then you're walking around and you're like, I'm a wrestler, but I feel like I can't even really do that at this point.
Yeah.
So what the hell am I?
Right. Almost
And
identity, huh?
yeah. And then because you can't work a certain part at the gym for a while, like you don't look the same. Like, you know, when wrestlers come back from injuries and they look a little bit chubbier or a little bit skinnier, they look a bit like different. Like they've gone through the ringer and they're slowly coming back.
Yeah.
It was like that. Now I understand why they don't come back looking exactly how they did before they left, because it does change everything for a while, and then you have to find out like new ways of doing things and physio. Like, that was fun. But the good thing about go on, carry on.
Oh no, keep going.
Oh, the good thing about that though is that, so at this point I'd gone to the hospital more times than I'd had hot dinners. I was always at the hospital at this point. And normally, you know, they're like, oh, so how'd you hurt yourself? Blah, blah, blah. And they're thinking I was going to say like, oh, I fell down the stairs or whatever. But then when you say, oh, yeah, I was wrestling and this happened, and then suddenly they're intrigued and they actually want to know why you hurt yourself.
Yeah.
And then when you tell them about that, they think it's cool and they're like, okay. Then it feels like they actually want to help you.
Right.
Whereas I felt like if I had just fallen down the stairs, they'd be like, okay,
For them.
yeah, just blah, blah, blah.
Yeah,
But yeah.
I got to tell you guys, when it comes to injuries, like when I had my first injury at 30, but before I had that, when Triple H would always get hurt and he would take like X amount of months off, his body would be different. So when I had my first injury at 30 years old, I was a little bit heavier. So the rehab part is the most intriguing to me, because when I come back, I want to come back like looking better than ever. You know, if you come back looking like heavy or skinny, you know, I mean, people are going to be wondering, what were you doing during your rehab and being out, you know? So like Triple H's physique was always very, very intriguing to me.
It's, like you don't want to come back and everyone feels sorry for you. Like, oh yeah, you still look like you're hurt. Like, you know.
Yeah.
I feel like as of late, when wrestlers will come back, they actually look better than before. Like, you know, like the past 5 years or so, when wrestlers get hurt and they come back, they always come back with a better physique. Kevin Owens
I think Finn came back. Finn Balor came back like really ripped.
Yeah, even more ripped than he already was. But even like Kevin Owens, like when he came back with biceps. You know.
Yeah.
I was like, whoa, dude! Like I'm seeing some definition. And like Bray Wyatt, like his gimmick, like you can tell from his sweater, it's actually he has like bodybuilder built to him now. Like he's got some upper.
Yeah.
I always think that's cool, man.
When I came back from the shoulder thing, I came back with glutes, because the only thing I could train, I couldn't train anything like upper body like that. So I came back with glutes, and that helped me. Yeah, that would help me when I did the DD twerk.
That's cool, man. I love how you do the DD twerk, because it's little moments like that that gives joy to the fans. You know, to me, your DD twerk, it's equivalent to The Rock throwing doing this before the 5-knuckle shuffle. It's something that the fans can join in, or like can interact with you during the match. So it's something that the fans look forward for during your match. Oh, when is he gonna do it? When is he gonna do it? Like Booker T Spinneroonie. So that's really smart of you to add that to your arsenal, man.
Oh, thank you very much. And when my friends that aren't wrestling fans, that know me from outside wrestling, when they come to the show and I do that, they cheer as well, because they're like, oh, that is you outside the ring, inside the ring. That is a part of you that you've taken from outside and put inside. So, because when me and my friends go to the club or whatever, or any party or anything, we're like we're rowdy. We're kind to everyone, but we're
Right.
rowdy, and everyone wants to have a good time.
Yeah.
And when I do that in the ring, it reminds them of those rowdy times.
I think it's cool because it's most of the time it's genuine things that gets over and that you enjoy yourself. Because if I heard this right, I think even with the People's Elbow, the first time The Rock would do that was during house shows, just to like pop whoever he's wrestling with, or maybe like the boys in the back, but just because of how ridiculous it was, you know? And
but it's iconic though. It's just an elbow, but it is so real. It is so cool. Like even on the games, if someone was The Rock against me and they pulled it out, I'd be like, oh god, I know I'm losing now.
Even like growing up watching Scotty 2 Hotty like doing the worm. If you think about it, it's just literally pop. But as a kid, I'm like, oh no, it's more powerful because he like builds up to it doing the worm beforehand, you know. So I love stuff like that.
Another thing I like doing is, so have you seen Legally Blonde?
You know what's funny? Never seen the movie, but saw the Broadway show.
Okay, so you know they do the bend and snap.
No.
Okay. She's like, oh, if you want a man's attention, it works like 90% of the time, or 90-something 0.2% of the time. And she's like, what you do is you drop something on the floor on purpose, and then you bend, and then you snap. and then someone else walks in, and the whole salon start doing it, and the man comes in, he goes, works every time. So say if someone's like throwing a clothesline at me, or like a roundhouse kick or whatever, I do a slut drop, but because I don't want to do the bend and snap, so I do a slut drop, and then when I do that, I hear like, ooh, as like people do that around me, and then I hit them with something else.
I love it. I love it. My boy is listening. He's listening to the people. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
But I gotta ask you, I feel like an idiot. Like, can you pronounce your name in two ways? Can you pronounce it Cassius or Cassius? Because you just pronounced it earlier, Cassius. Can you pronounce it both ways, or am I just saying it wrong? I'm sorry, I'm not the sharpest knife in the drawer.
No, it's fine. Americans say Cassius, but in England they say Cassius. But America, every time I meet someone from America, they call me Cassius, so it's cool. Same
Stupid
thing.
Americans. Stupid Americans.
Oh, no,
look, come on.
Sorry.
You guys are cool.
I like Cassius better because I feel like
Me
that's how
too.
it's pronounced, because that's how it looks, you know? Cassius, I like that. It's more, I don't know, more sophisticated.
Oh, thank you. That's me.
But Muhammad Ali, before he was Muhammad Ali, was Cassius Clay. So that's what I was thinking when I first seen your name, Cassius. But it's Cassius now.
Yeah, butterflies and bees, innit? You know.
Oh.
You should incorporate that as one of your tights, you know, a play on a word with Cassius, and you know, like have like a little butterfly and a bee or something like that. Float like a butterfly.
Maybe that might be on my next set of gear. You never.
Yeah.
Maybe that's my next set.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you know, like being only 26 years old, you're so young. If you do you have any future goals, or are you the type to go life, like take it day by day?
Okay, WWE.
Yes.
I wanna be interviewed on E! News.
Oh, nice. Very cool.
I want to be on stage with Miley Cyrus as well. And I want to be at WrestleMania, and I want Miley Cyrus to like be a part of my entrance.
I love that. That's full circle right there.
Yeah. Or do
Cassius. The only time that you people are on E! News is for some scandal. I don't know if you want to be on E! News.
Okay, fine. Maybe not E! News. I don't know. Yeah, but as long as Miley Cyrus is a part of it, or Taylor Swift.
So you know, being a Miley Cyrus fan, I don't know if you knew this. Well, I'm gonna tell you two things. I bumped into her at our local Trader Joe's, and because she lives around our area, and at the time, she was there with no bodyguard, just doing grocery shopping, and we were only two in the aisle. And I you know, I always, whenever I see celebrities, unless it's like wrestling and it's like the right place, I never go out of my way to like bother them. I just let them be because it's their own time. But we made eye contact and she smiled at me and I was like, oh, that's really cool. Like
Wow, I'm jealous of that.
Another thing that I want to tell you is I never knew this, but I forgot what song it is, but you know that song when she goes, la-di-da-di, dancing with Molly. You know that's
do whatever we want. We can't stop.
Did you know that she actually doesn't say dancing with Miley, but she says dancing with Molly?
The drug thing in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That blew my mind. I don't know. I just thought I should share that with you.
We don't talk about that era of Miley. She's banned. That.
Oh, you don't like that era?
No, I mean, of course I do, but my favorite era is my favorite is the good Miley. But I mean, that part is still iconic. Like
it is.
Yeah. But like, so when I didn't tell anyone that I was a wrestler and I was living that Hannah Montana life, eventually I had to tell them. But this reminds me of the Hannah Montana show where she actually has to take off the wig and tell people.
Yes.
But we
movie, right?
a movie, yeah. But she tells the whole town.
But to tell our whole city to keep it a secret.
Yeah. And when I told everyone I was a wrestler, it was kind of like that. Because we did this TV show thing, where the sports comedy show called A League of Their Own. I did it a few times, but this was the first time. And they looked at my outfit and they looked at me and they said, okay, we want you to have a full entrance on this TV show. And I didn't think anyone watched this show. I really didn't think anyone watched it. And then, so I walked to the ring, but they played It's Raining Men. So it was even more like flamboyant and everything. And I didn't realize people watched the show. And as soon as it went on TV, all my friends and family saw this and they were like, is that you on there? Oh my God, it is you. Oh my God. And the thing they talked about most was the way I got through the ropes really slow, like the Stacy Keibler thing.
Oh, that's
and that was the first time. That was how everyone found out as a wrestler, because they saw it on their TV, and I was like, "Oh, surprise, everyone!" It was like when Hannah Montana pulled off the wig.
Yeah,
that was my Hannah Montana moment. So
amazing.
So definitely, Miley Cyrus has to be a part of my career somehow.
It's gonna happen. I feel it.
Yeah, I think. Do you know what the funny thing is that I really do think it will happen. Like, so only time will tell. I don't know when, but it will.
The facts, put it out there. It's a fact. It's happening.
Yeah, I think when if you write something down and then you talk about it so much that it eventually like manifests.
Yeah.
And sometimes that happens. Like, I feel like I breathe and an opportunity will just manifest. Mm-hmm. Like, it's weird.
Especially you, man, with your energy. I just feel the universe has a way of giving back to someone as positive as you. You get what you put out, and you definitely put out good vibes.
Oh, thank you. Well, that's how. When I wrestled in New York, it came about because. Do you guys believe in psychics?
I do. I have a friend who's one.
Yeah? Okay, so you'll like this story.
Yeah.
So I saw a psychic, right? And I didn't wear any sports clothes, so she wouldn't know I was a wrestler or anything sports related. I just wore normal clothes. And she said to me, she was like, you're going to get a work opportunity in New York.
Wow.
And you're not going to go after this. It's going to come to you and you're going to go out there. And I see you eating food in Times Square, but it's a work opportunity that's going to come. And the next day I got a message on Instagram from a wrestling company in New York asking me if I wanted to go wrestle. That's
so specific.
Yeah, it's so specific. And I said no, because I was like, oh, I don't know. And then it came again and I said no. The third time I goddamn said no. And then I saw the psychic again a year later and I said to my friends. I was like, if this chick mentions New York again, it's going to happen.
Yeah.
She mentioned it again, and I was about to email this company if I could about the show, and then they emailed me again.
Wow.
About doing this show, and their show was on the same week as WrestleMania week, and it also in that week I turned 25. So it all like happened in this 1 week, which was perfect for me to fly out there, go wrestle, go watch WrestleMania, and celebrate my birthday all in one perfect week, which is weird how things happen.
That's amazing. That's crazy.
So, yeah, so that's why for that I believe in this universe stuff.
I want to share like my psychic story, which I think is pretty.
Yeah.
This is actually my friend. Like at the time, we weren't really friends yet. He didn't really know too much about me, but we were meeting up to hang out with a common friend. But I wasn't there yet, so he was just chilling at the apartment. And then he goes, "Who's Daniel? Does anyone know Daniel?" And like everyone in the room was like, "No, no." I was like, "Huh?" Like I'm getting this like strong like energy presence with the name Daniel. And then at this time I was walking with my wife towards where they're at, towards their unit. And then I come in like, "Hey, how's everyone doing?" Blah blah blah. And he asked the same question, "Who's Daniel?" And I'm like, I have a dad named Daniel. He's like,
Huh?
"Oh, that's crazy. I just feel like his energy is so strong around you, and that he's always thinking about you." And it's true because I grew up as an only child. And also, my dad has always been the type to be like, not, it's so weird. He's kind of like the opposite of the stereotypical dad, where he's not that doesn't show love. He's very affectionate towards me. Like I'm his little baby, kind of like, "Is it everything okay?" So he's very like that. But he lives in Indonesia. So I guess like they're saying like, "Oh, like your dad's constantly always like thinking about you," and like named Daniel.
That's crazy.
Which I thought was pretty.
That's freaky how they know that, and they know specifics, like details.
Yeah, I'm pretty open-minded to stuff like that. Like I know enough to know that I don't know. So with things like that, like nothing's impossible.
Yeah.
Well, guys, I'm getting jealous because I have a story, but I don't remember it. So I think it's the perfect time to take this podcast home, because I'm just getting jealous. You guys just vibing. You guys are just vibing and everything, and leaving me out of the conversation. I don't even remember my horoscope story.
My bad.
Go see a psychic. Go see a psychic again. And then tell your story,
Yeah. I need to remember my story. That's the thing. I don't remember my psychic story. But anyway, time is money. And hopefully we can definitely have you on again. I know Arnold's got to make moves, and Cassius, you got to make moves as well. Thank you for being on Pro Bro Wrestling. I always say, don't die with the story and you tell it. So I really appreciate it. You're an amazing person.
Thank you very much. And thank you guys for having me on, and for listening to me for I don't know how long, but thank you.
I love it.
I'm going to continue to listen to you more, baby.
Oh God, yay! And I'll see you in the ring as well. So.
Oh yeah, we got to make that happen. Someone's got to book it. I would want to be to watch that match.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Cassius. See, now I have to like really think about it when I say your name, Cassius. Thank you so much, Cassius, for being a.
Thank you very much.
For you guys who's watching and listening, if you guys are watching us on YouTube, make sure you guys subscribe and leave a comment. And if you guys also listening to us on iTunes, give us a 5-star review if you like what you hear. And again, like we're all rooting for you, Cassius. You're so young in your career, man. Great positive things are gonna happen to you. Best of luck to everything. And if you ever want to hop back into the podcast, anytime, bro, anytime.
Hey. Thank you.
All three of us, let's do it. Block the hate, salute the great to the great Cassius.
Hey.
Block the hate.
Hey. Yay. Thank you very much.